watching Twin Tier Sunday. With Jennifer Sheahen.
Welcome to Twin Tier Sunday. I'm your host, Jennifer Sheahen. I never thought there was a lot of art in Corning. The more digging I did, the more extraordinary things I found. From the art galleries right here on Market Street to the surrounding area, you can come and see contemporary artists, classic artists, glass, bead, wood, whatever you possibly can think of. There's something here for you. Today, we take a look at some of the local artists and some of the artists that are featured here from around the country. Our first stop at exploring some of the artists here on Market Street is right here at Exhibit A, and they have a current gallery that's a lot about glass. This is Ann Wells, and tell me what this exhibition is all about.
Well, this is our annual glass invitational. We've been doing it for several years, and it's a lot of fun. We just try to find interesting and unexpected things that artists are doing with glass.
Definitely, and a lot of the artists actually aren't local, which is very interesting because you get to see some art from around the country as well. Who are the different people that you have and where are they from?
Well, we've got Karen Donnellan. She's Irish, but she's currently teaching at Alfred University, and we also have Angus Powers, who's at Alfred as well. Will Seidman lives in Maine, is teaching at RIT this year. We have Amy Lemaire, who's down in Philadelphia, and let's see, who am I forgetting? Oh, Keith Lemley, who does the neon.
Very nice. And tell me a little bit more about Exhibit A. How long has it been open?
We've been around for close to 6 years. We've been about 3 years in this street-level location on Market Street. Before that, we were located on the second floor up over Pier Design.
Nice. And how did you get involved with Exhibit A? I know this is kind of your baby.
Well, I was an exhibiting artist for years, and then I ran the gallery at 171, and I really discovered I could be as excited about other artists' work as I was my own, and felt that there were artists I could do more with, and really the only way to do that is to open your own gallery.
No, definitely. And where do you see this going in the future, or what other exhibits will be coming here in the next coming months?
Well, in January, we'll be having our Black and White Biennial. That's another fun group show. Spend a couple years looking for really exciting work that's done in black and white. Everyone dresses in black and white for their reception. It's really great. After that, we'll be showing some of our regular artists, and then we'll have some special things going on when the Glass Art Society is in town next spring.
Very, very nice. And what are your hours here when people can come in and check everything out?
Well, we're open Wednesday and Thursday, 12 to 6, and then Friday through Sunday, 12 to 4, though we do close on Sundays in January, February. And we're also open by appointment. So I'm actually here a lot more than that, and people are always welcome to let me know when's good for them. I'm more than happy to meet people here and show them around.
Wonderful. And now we're going to show you around. Stay tuned.
Here we have a piece by Will Seidman. He's an artist from Maine. He grew up in Maine around the water, where he spent time with his grandfather and so forth. This is really great. These are blown glass, and what he's done is he's introduced salt water, seawater in them, and let the water evaporate. So what you're seeing inside is salt left over from the water, and the water is interesting. It's still, even though it's been in there a couple of years, it's still active. You'll see these fog up. Sometimes there's droplets inside and so forth. This piece is titled What's Left Behind. This is another piece by Will Seidman. It's called Apple Knocker. Apple knocker is an expression I hadn't heard before, but he told me a story about when he was young and his grandfather was teaching him to row a skiff. And of course, when you're learning to row, your oars are waving around in the air and you don't know what you're doing. His grandfather said, he rode like an apple knocker. So the apples are cast glass and really quite wonderful little objects in and of themselves. I had a lot of fun unpacking this piece, and of course a found object. This is an old oar. So definitely a piece that has a lot to do with memories and Will's personal history. This piece is called Atmosphere by Angus Powers. It features a little, what looks like a paper airplane inside. And I just love it because when you're flying, my dad flies sailplanes, so I grew up around flying, you realize the air is not nothing. There's all sorts of things happening. There's currents and bumps and lift and so forth. So for me personally, this one is really fun. So this piece by Karen Donnellan features sound, and I love that the sound is sort of these simple, pure sounds often, and the glass is very clear and you can see the speaker. Karen works with a lot of different ideas, and a lot of times she incorporates sound in her work or thinks about what sound can do. Many of the sounds that you hear in this are recordings of work she does with tuning forks that she makes. Karen Donnellan is Irish, but she is now in the States, and she's teaching at Alfred, where she's new to their faculty there. So this is work by Jeremy Holmes. He's an artist I'm very fortunate to get to work with. I've worked with him for several years and watched him really take off, actually. This piece is one of his Atmosphere series, his freestanding sculptures. Typically they're ash. He soaks the wood in order to make it pliable enough to bend it, and then he joins it. And whenever you find the joint on one of these pieces, it's kind of fun because on the other side it'll be about 3 or 4 inches away because there's a lot of overlap. That's how it's strong enough to stay together. So he does small sculptures like this. He also is known for his big installation pieces. He can do wooden ribbons that get up over a 1/4 mile long. So if you're in a space with a wooden ribbon that's over a 1/4 mile long and taking up the entire space, it's really quite amazing. So when you visit Jeremy in his studio, there's usually all sorts of wooden ribbons in various stages of being finished, and it's really fun to be in a wood shop that's like that. His dad was actually a woodworker. He grew up around wood, and he likes to surprise people with what wood can do, and he certainly succeeds at that.
All right, so yes, we've ended up on the floor, but mainly because we wanted to be able to show you what's going on around us. It is so cool when you walk into this room. This particular piece has all these axes, which you were explaining. Some people walk into this room and either feel relaxation or completely uncomfortable, depending on where your background is. So tell me about this piece, the artist, and just how cool it is.
This is work by Keith Lemley. He's known for his neon installations. Often he incorporates raw wood. And I have to say, the combination of this very organic material, very organic object combined with neon, which is very sort of sci-fi, techy stuff. It's really a wonderful, wonderful way to present these two things. This piece really speaks to sort of ideas about doing work and resting. He'll talk about that when you're working and setting down the tool as you take breaks, that these are a little bit like little ghost images of the tool as someone is working and resting.
Definitely. And you're also telling me the comparison of the people that walk in this room, and I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, some people walk in, and I've had several say, oh, this is so relaxing. It's just, I like being in here. And I have to say, I sort of feel that way. I grew up on a farm where this means being out in the woods to me, and it is a fun way to consider that. Other people, I had a couple people come in and say, this is horrific, this is really scary. And I was sort of surprised, but it turns out they grew up not near the woods, where really their only association with axes is horror movies. So always depends on where you're coming from.
There you go. And that is a lot of what I've learned walking through Exhibit A, is that your different perception always changes from piece to piece, and I'll have something in my mind and she'll explain it to me and I was like, oh my God, that's not what I was thinking this artist wanted to portray. So it is a wonderful place to come and explore, and thank you so much for having me. Right after the break, we're going to head over and see some more art. Welcome back. We're now on our second stop of exploring some of the art here in Corning on Market Street. And this is Mark Rubin. We're at West End Gallery. He's an Elmira artist. Mark, when I was going through your paintings, a lot of it is very realistic. And why do you choose to do that, and what inspires you to do that?
Well, my history is I studied with Tom Buechner, who's renowned in this community, and he was a representational painter. And I'm attracted to the idea of story. And each of my paintings, I paint from life, which I think is a critical point to my paintings, because you get much more depth in them, so it helps the realism that you're describing. And it also is much more inspiring than painting from a photograph. And from my opinion, painting from a photograph is obvious, there's something lost. It's a gift to the photographer, whoever took the photograph. So for me, it's this fire to paint from reality and to reproduce that. And I try to give everything its moment in time as well. I'll find things, I'll walk through Wegmans and see two tomatoes leaning up next to each other, and it looks like some sort of romantic kind of environment. So I'll take that idea back to my studio, set it up and paint it. And then I got into these taxidermy creatures that people go, why'd you paint those? Well, it's a couple of reasons. One, I just love creatures and animals. You can't get a baboon to sit for a half hour. So a friend of mine who happens to be in the business of pleasure of shooting animals let me borrow these. And I'm not a hunter, and I don't really promote the idea of killing creatures, but my idea is it gives them a second chance for life. They live again. And I try to put them in interesting environments and tell a little story just by viewing them.
And that's exactly why we actually chose the painting that is right behind you. Now, tell me about this painting, and you kind of said it was alluding to memories and a memory box.
It's called Memory Keeper, and this case that it sits in is over 100 years old. It belonged to a friend of mine's grandfather, and inside it was a top hat. And I just love the texture and the age, which says something about time. The crow also is a indication of time. Some people see them as evil. I see them as good, a good omen. Crows are very loyal to themselves, actually loyal to humans. They will support and return if you give them the love and attention. So, and the watch, which is not open to the face, is closed intentionally to say, what's your memory? What's your thought about time? And this little space in here is like, so what's in there? What's he protecting? What are you thinking when you see that? And so that's my little story about it. But the bigger story is the viewer. When the viewer looks at it without my description, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? What does it invoke in them? Because after I get through with the painting and it hangs on a wall, I'm not going to be here to tell the story. So what they feel inside themselves is the truth about that painting, because it's potentially their painting if they are inspired by it and want to have it something they can view every day and have that same feeling reunited.
Definitely. And when you come to West End and see his work here, it's all very him, everything, although each picture is different, has kind of the same feel to it and the same kind of dark edges, and you really focus in on that one object that Mark is portraying. And how did you get into doing art? Because now, you said you were also a designer, you're an artist. At what age did you start getting interested in this, and what kind of kept the ball rolling?
I think it was probably when I started to have to take notes and middle school, and I realized there were no notes in my notebook. There were just little doodles and drawings of the teacher, the kids in the room, out the window. Some would say I didn't pay attention, but I was paying attention to different things. So that was kind of the start of it all. And then as I went through high school, I took a lot of art courses, and then I decided to go off for graphic design, study graphic design for a number of years, and came back, and I've had a business in Elmira for 40 years, developing brands and so forth for different companies, and I worked for Cornell and Ithaca College and a number of other manufacturers around town, like Harding's. We developed their brand. And so there's always a sense of that connection to the art and being creative. And then a number of years ago, I met Tom Buechner, who's a renowned painter here that we all loved and respect. And I painted with him for 10 years, and that gave me the sense of style and the sophistication that he was so generous to gift to those who would spend time with him. So that there's a fire that happens, there's this desire that happens. It's kind of like breathing. You just need to do it. I need to paint, I need to produce art. And it's a love affair.
There you go. It's beautiful. Your artwork is absolutely stunning, and you can come here to Corning to see it. Where else can people go to see your work?
I'm around the country. I'm in Colorado, I'm in Arizona, I'm in Maryland, I'm in Virginia, I'm in the Carolinas, I'm on Long Island, here in Corning, and Scranton, Pennsylvania as well.
Very nice. And if somebody is interested in buying a piece of work from you, how do they go about doing that? And also, what is the price range for maybe something a little bit smaller to something larger?
The place to go is West End Gallery because they're my local representative. If you happen to be in North Carolina, there's galleries there, and if you go to my website, you'll see what galleries are in those locations. What's your other question? I'm sorry.
And then what is the price range from either something a little bit smaller to a larger piece as well?
The prices go from like $1,200 to $12,000 and everything in between.
All right. Any last words to a young guy out there or young girl who may want to do this in the future, but maybe a little bit nervous to keep going and keep motivated and stay persistent with it?
Sure, I'd say that desire is much more important than passion. Passion's wonderful for that moment, but desire will carry you for your life. And if you feel the love for it and you just have this insatiable desire to do it, then do it. I post on Facebook, and there's people all over the world and being my friend, there's a young guy in Nigeria who reached out to me with a message and showed me some of his work. So for the last 6 months, I've been showing him works and kind of commenting on his work. And he just loves it. He just loves it, and I know where he lives, and I've seen the environment, and it gives him a place to go.
That's wonderful. And where can people go to see your work online?
MarkRubinPainter.com, MarkRubin.net.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Mark.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
We'll see you right after the break. Welcome back. We are on our last stop of the art tour in Corning. This is Ann Ricotta, and she's here at her own business that has been open for 5 years now, and it is a wonderful place. It's all about beads. Tell me about it.
Well, here at Soulshine Studio, it is the place to bead. We have beads from all over the world. We have locally made beads. You can come and take a class. You can do a girls' night out, which is very fun. Bring your own beverages and snacks, whatever you'd like. And we do birthday parties. I also go out and do things at the youth center, and I teach at 171 Cedar Arts Center. So I like to get out in the community and spread the love of beads.
That's very nice. And now this all started with a little bit of inspiration in 2003, from my understanding. You took a beading class, and how did that little bit of inspiration now lead into a career for you?
Well, I love art. I love to create. And so I thought it would just be a fun thing to take a class with my daughters. And of course, we had to buy the tubes of beads. So when I was finished with my bracelet, I had extra beads left over. So of course, I had to buy more to put with it to make a necklace. And then I had to buy more to make earrings, and it just sort of went from there. It branched into making jewelry for friends and family, and then they got enough of it, and so I started selling my jewelry, and pretty soon this was born.
That's absolutely wonderful. And you guys are open every single day, too, from my understanding. On Sundays as well?
Sundays, it's seasonal, mostly in the summer and the holiday season.
Wonderful. And not only do you sell your jewelry, but you also can come and just get beads for your own fun and on your own time, what you would like to do with them as well. And you're actually going to tell us about another piece of art that you're known for. It's shibori. Am I correct?
Yes,
Very good.
shibori ribbon. So I love bead embroidery, which is basically stitching beads down to a substrate. And a couple of years ago, I discovered another beading artist using shibori ribbon, which is a hand-dyed silk pleated ribbon. It is just beautiful. The movement that it provides and the inspiration. I mean, all I do is add beads to it. It's just an incredible medium to use. So.
And how long does it take to make one piece, whether that be a necklace or a bracelet?
Well, for a cuff bracelet would take probably 25 hours to make. A choker necklace take maybe 45 to 55 hours. It really depends on the size of the piece, but
Definitely. And who is your typical buyer for a piece like that?
someone who would like to go out and go to charity events or a night on the town. I also have some customers who wear them with t-shirts and jeans. You know, they just love, you know, t-shirt, jeans, and then a little bit of bling around their neck. So
That's wonderful. And what is the price range for a necklace?
for a shibori ribbon necklace would be $500 to $700. Yeah, but we can do other things here that are a lot more affordable for everyday wear.
Yeah, but it's something, I mean, I would have never even thought that combining something like that would be, you know, have such a big price tag on it, but it truly is a piece of art, you know, so that's an absolutely wonderful thing that you have here. And you also can come and make your own goods. Tell me about a few of the things, starting with something that's a little bit more simpler that people can make here at one of the classes, and then we'll show you something that's a little bit more difficult for you advanced beaders out there.
Okay, so the first thing that we have is a bead embroidered cabochon. A cabochon is a piece that has no hole in it, so bead embroidery is basically, like I said, stitching down to a substrate. This looks difficult, but it is not. So this is a really great place to start if you like the look of bead embroidery, but you want to just get your feet wet and get into it a little bit. Once you learn the basics in this class, you can just take off from there and do so much with it.
And how long does a piece like this and a class last?
For this is 3 hours. And you should be able to finish it in class, but if not, you definitely will know how to finish it, or you can always come back and sit with me and bead. I love to have people come and sit, so.
Wonderful. And then something a little bit more advanced.
A little more advanced would be these bracelets here. They're bead weaving, which is different than bead embroidery because you're not sewing to anything. You're just using needle and thread, and you're weaving basically the thread and the beads together. Mm-hmm. So these took about 2 hours to do, but it definitely takes some concentration and some visualization. You need to really understand the pattern that you're beading and be able to sort of visualize it. Sometimes it's difficult to see, to keep going when it may not look quite as wonderful as you like.
It really is really beautiful. I would like to come make my own. And if you ever had someone in class, this was, you know, their first experience with beading and had that same experience as you, and it just kind of took off for them, and they've come now multiple times back and forth.
Yes, I have. It's really exciting to see when people get so thrilled and proud of the pieces that they make, and I like when they take what they've learned and do their own thing with it. That to me is the most important thing, you know.
And where can people learn more about the store here and also the classes?
I'm on Facebook, Soulshine Studio Corning, Instagram, Soulshine Studio Beads. My website is soulshine-studio.com, or always stop in or give me a call.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Ann. I appreciate it. Today, I just touched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to art right here on Market Street. If you're looking to draw some inspiration, come on down. You never know what you can experience. I'll see you next week. From glass to beading, join me as I head to 3 different galleries on Market Street. We speak to artists and owners about the creativity displayed right here in Corning.